Hey, what's going on, guys? It is OGC here. Today we have another hero spotlight. Today's hero spotlight is one of my favorite heroes, one of the most overpowered heroes in the game. His name is Fenris the Lone Wolf. He is a rogue, so he benefits from all of the mech/rogue hero research. And because he's a rogue, he can also equip a bow. So I'll show you my basic setup. For my basic setup, I just have a flawless blink dagger. Nothing too crazy. Just give him some more might. I have the great bow on him for 30% increased attack speed. I do have the wolf mask for him for +1 for bloodthirst. I have a flawless stormlight chest piece, and I have two flawless soul blades on him for more might. So as you can see, I tried to load them up on a bunch of might. For the artifact, I am using the Blood Maw's Bite. Right now, I have a 3-star one. So this will make it so his direwolf form costs 1 less to use. He'll heal for 30% of damage he deals. And he will also have increased healing efficiency when his health is below 50%. Overall, if he's in his direwolf form, he's probably not going to die as long as he can attack something. There are some sets that you can use on Fenris if you chose to. So the first set is the standard rogue set, and the standard rogue set, if you have the bow, the helm, and the chest piece, it will add a chance to poison the enemy whenever he attacks. This does not carry through for his wolves. This is only for Fenris, so that's very important to note. Because of that, I don't value this set super high on Fenris. Just because his wolves do so much of the damage, and his auto attacks, like he'll take down an enemy Jackson like 2 auto attacks. So if he poisons, it's not like the enemy is going to be alive long enough for the poison to really do anything. However, this said, you can get from the Void 2 pieces, 1 piece from the Royal Archive, so that might be beneficial to you guys to boost up his stats. The other option is going with the rogue set that drops from dragons. So this is the dragon set for rogues, which makes his critical hit damage do +50%. I think this would be very good on Fenris if and only if you plan on running him in direwolf form, probably for PvP and or abyssal stages. So you can check that out right there. It's the same one that I have on Mako. I don't have a spare one. Alternatively, you could do what I did and just throw on a bunch of stat items, put on a great bow for the increased attack speed, and then go with one of his craftable items, the Wolf Wreath mask. This offers +1 to bloodthirst, which is a wonderful skill for Fenris, and this item itself also has really high command, so it helps with queuing up gold troops. I believe this one is the best helm, or one of the best helms by far, for increasing command for queuing up gold troops, but it's useful on Fenris if you don't have the Dragon Rogue set. Here is what I use to queue up gold troops on Fenris. So Masonic Scepter, just from Void 81, best weapon for queuing things up due to just the immense bonuses. And then everything else is just really high command, or as high as I can get. And I do have a Hand of Wisdom with the +12. So, that being said, let's go over Fenris' abilities. First, he has Wolfpack. So with Wolfpack, rather than leading troops into battle, Fenris summons 2 wolves that will fight by his side. If a wolf perishes, Fenris will sacrifice some of his health to summon it. Wolves perish when Fenris falls in battle, so you don't want Fenris to die. Wolves scale with the level and might of Fenris. As far as damage, their health goes with stamina and level of Fenris. And they exceed at ambush attacks, meaning they're going to run around to the back of the enemies, kind of how mounted archers work. I'll show you it better in game. Maul is a basic ability of Fenris. It increases the base attacks of wolves and direwolves by a certain amount, and it also scales with his might. So might will help increase this. Bloodthirst. Bloodthirst increases the attack of direwolves and his wolves. So direwolf is when Fenris is in his personal wolf form, and then the wolves are what he summons. Increases and gives them some bonus damage, and also allows them to regenerate health. Might and magic scale accordingly. Wonderful skill. Thick Hide. Thick Hide reduces the range damage that Fenris in direwolf form and or his wolves take. This will make them a little bit more tanky. Lupus Link. This will make it so that he sacrifices less health to resummon his wolves, and damage and health of wolves is also increased by a percentage. So depending on where you're at, sometimes you can get a nice benefit from getting a flat amount increase, say plus 500%. But then once a unit or hero's attack gets to a certain point, then 5% could be drastically more than 500, if that makes sense. So percent increase, keep an eye on that, especially as you level up and progress in the game. And finally, we have Full Moon, which makes Fenris turn into a direwolf, increasing his damage output and health regeneration by a lot, while making him immune to all slowing and or crowd control effects. While he's like this, he can't summon his wolves and will go towards the back of the enemy line, and it lasts for 30 seconds afterwards. Regardless if you place Fenris in the front or in the back of placement, which I'll show you later on in how that impacts Fenris, he will be on the offense. So important to know. So I have two different setups for Fenris. In some of his basic abilities, I do want to point out, like Maul, Bloodthirst, Thick Hide, Lupus Link. I don't think that there's a perfect amount. Kind of play around with it, find out what works best for you. If somebody's lower level, then you'll get more benefit out of Bloodthirst and Maul for increasing damage. As you level up and get stronger in the game, you might get more benefit out of the percent increase from Lupus Link. Anyways, that's a whole bunch of information. Let me show you what I do. Disclaimer, as normal, just because I do it does not mean that it's the best. It's just what I've found some success with. So, first and foremost, this setup is for when I go into PvP with Fenris and I want to use him in direwolf form. Or I'm doing Fenris in the Void, and or I am doing Abyssal stages for like the Dragon Shards and things like that. Basically, if I'm going to put Fenris into direwolf form, this is the ability setup that I go for. So I go for a few points into Maul, just because I had extra points. I put 8 base into Bloodthirst along with +1 from his headgear, because Bloodthirst does give some really nice damage and the regen is awesome. I maxed out Thick Hide because really the only thing that's going to take down Fenris and or his wolves is going to be something like a Jax or a Mako or a pack of archers that they haven't yet killed. And if Fenris is in the direwolf form, I want to keep his 2 little wolves alive as long as possible, so Thick Hide will help keep them alive a little bit longer. Feral Instinct. Oh, did I skip this one when I first went over it? So Feral Instinct increases the attack speed of wolves and direwolves by 20%. When their health falls below 50%, the attack speed bonus is doubled. Command increases the attack speed. So this, I think, is a really good 1-point wonder. There's other things that I rather max out, especially for this portion, because if Fenris is in the direwolf form, he's going to be regaining health like no tomorrow. But yeah, so I'll go with 1 in Feral Instinct, 1 in Lupus Link, and then I will max out the Full Moon just because the damage bonus increase is insane. If I am not planning on using Fenris at all in direwolf form, then I will do a slightly different setup, because I'll have 0 in Full Moon. And what I'll do instead is I'll get 8 out of 9 into Maul, just to get some more bonus damage. Once I get 1 more ability point, I'll max out Maul. I have Bloodthirst completely maxed out. A couple points into Thick Hide. The reason for this is simply because if the wolves run behind and they die, Fenris can just summon more. And then I have maxed out Lupus Link. Um, and with Lupus Link, he'll be able to sacrifice half the amount of health to resummon a wolf, which kind of makes up for having less points into the thick hide, and the wolves will deal 50% increased damage. That's huge. They'll also have more life. And of course, I just have my 1 point into Feral Instinct. So let's go test Fenris out a little bit and see how he performs. Alright, so if we look at the battlefield here, we have the green section within the first 5. If Fenris is placed there, he's going to run forwards and start attacking immediately. Now, if we do the same thing, but we put Fenris in the back 5, in the blue area, Fenris will act kind of like Elena and or Avalon, and he'll just stay in that back area. However, if we do direwolf form and Fenris runs forwards, he's just going to maul down everything he can come across. As soon as he exits the direwolf form, it will be as if we place him in the front. So maybe we can speed this up. Everything might die before Fenris goes back. So now Fenris is back to normal, and you can see he's in the front being aggressive as if we placed him in the front. He will not reset. He will not go back to being in the back. However, usually by this time the fight is over. So that's the basic rundown of Fenris. When are you going to use Fenris, and is Fenris good for you? So the primary times that you will be using Fenris, absolutely in Dragon Abyss. He will carry you through Dragon Abyss. So anytime that you go into the Dragon Abyss, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it would be one of these. Is this the one that I can do? So if we do go into the Dragon Abyss, we're always going to have Fenris, and with Fenris, it will allow us to have a super tanky person now that everything else is dead, simply because he can auto attack. So I'm going to let everything die here, and if we watch Fenris, his wolves are going to die since he's in direwolf form. They are not going to get respawned. And now you're going to see all these archers come onto Fenris. Due to the thick hide, he will take reduced damage from them. And as long as Fenris is able to keep attacking, he'll regain health. Eventually he goes down because that was a lot of archers, but you can see his health regain. So that is, we'll definitely use Fenris in the Dragon Abyss. In the Void, you will use Fenris. However, if it's one of those stages where it's 4 heroes or less, or 3 heroes or less, or something like that, Fenris will not be your go-to hero. The reason for that is because if you deploy Fenris, you cannot deploy troops with him. So you'll get better luck placing an April and being able to place 2 additional troops, or an Avalon and be able to place three extra troops. It's kind of like how Bane doesn't do super well in those stages in the Void, because if you place Bane, you can only place 1 additional troop pack. With Fenris, if you place Fenris, he's so strong that you can't place any other troops. That being said, there are certain times in the Void where Fenris will be amazing. So with Fenris, he'll be amazing when you don't have to cast any abilities. Set him up in the ability setup similar to the one that I showed, as if he's not going into direwolf form at all, and he will be great. Some tips when it does come to placing Fenris is you want to place him off to the side. So ideally I'd like him back here, but it's just not going to happen. But putting him on the side will allow his wolves to run around and get to the back of the enemies. You can also put him in the middle. If you're fighting dwarfs, you could put him in the middle, and he'll actually run through, his wolves will run through the mechs if there's a gap there, and immediately get back onto the snipers, which will help you out tremendously, especially once Dwarf gets the update. Fenris in PvP. Always. Do not go into PvP without Fenris. Fenris is insane. Uh, and when it comes to prioritizing leveling up heroes, I would prioritize Fenris up there. So you can see right here who I'm prioritizing for levels. I have Fenris, Jax, Spring, Mako, so all of the rogues in Jax. They are who I prioritize for leveling, followed up by the main gladiators, which would be Belrog, Bane, Denji. However, it's important to note if you are a race specific player, meaning you're going to play human, rock, and anything like that, you might want to focus on like Avalon or your race based heroes first. Once they're done, then I would prioritize Fenris right up there with Jackson Mako. The damage output that he does is just insane. He's an amazing hero. So let me know down below in the comments, how do you gear your Fenris? What are your skills on your Fenris? And did you find anything helpful in this? If so, please smash that thumbs up button, subscribe if you have not already, and we'll be bringing you guys more videos very soon. Have a great day, guys.